Hello, besties. For some reason, I thought it was Friday, and I was like rushing to get this video out, but now I realize it's Thursday. But also, that's perfect because we are roughly 22 days out from Launchapalooza, which is the thing I came to talk to you about. Now, besties, in case you haven't heard, Launchapalooza is a little club of people. I don't know if it's a club. It's a little group of people that are all launching at the same time that have agreed to do some cross critiques and cross promotion um, across various genre lines inside of progression fantasy and others. Um, fantasy, whatever it was, a bunch of things. So first off, one of the things we're going to do for the second one is that we're going to ask people for their primary genre so we can match things up easier. So if you're like failing because you want to do like 3 special genres, but none of them are any more important than the other, now we're going to be like, hey, just pick one, just one. There could be a secondary as important genre, but like we want you to pick one to be the primary. Like if it's science fantasy, I get it, but like is it science fiction or fantasy, right? And if you're confused, like we can do it. But like it looks like a lot of people are picking fantasy, straight fantasy. I picked lit RPG. Mine is like lit RPG primary, contemporary is the second one. For my summer fiction, right? Just for example, just so it's easier for us to cross critique, right? So Launchpalooza, it is a grab this thing quick. A beginner-friendly way to plan out a book launch on world order novelizing. We started this 5 weeks ago. We are 8 months in. We are gaining steam. The date is December 6th for launches. I'll be launching something. I'll be actually launching 2 things. You should also. I might be doing like a slower launch with my one book, but basically, I will have one shorter book complete and one series that's like going to be ongoing. It's going to take me for the next 6 months that I've started writing, and I'm enjoying it. It's different, it's fresh, it's new, and doesn't have cards in it, which is interesting for me. All right, so before you were supposed to do a blurb. Basically, around 5 months in, it was required to have a blurb to join. It doesn't have to be good. However, it is the 13th of November as I post this video. You have to post a blurb to join by the 15th, and at least one chapter in the next 2 days if you want to join. We're cutting it off after that just for logistical reasons, which is like 90 days before. All right. I'm not saying it's impossible to join. I'm just saying we're cutting people off from like all the extra stuff. And basically, like we will be making sure that everyone is like shouting each other out on novelizing, and then individual shots are like kind of on your own, even though you could look at like novelizings. You should have a cover. If you haven't like workshopped your blurb, it's time to workshop your blurb or refine your blurb or your cover. If you haven't commissioned a cover, talk. I just got a pen for my tablet, and I'm doing some drawings, and I can draw you something. I'm terrible at drawing, but I'll draw you something, and you'll be like, "What?" I'll be like, "Sir, here is stick figures sitting on a campfire for your Victorian era cyberpunk thriller horror vending machine thing." I'm not speaking to anyone in particular. No way I would never do that. All right, so some logistical cleaning the house things. All right, so I want you to consider a couple things. If you're not writing a fan fiction, consider setting up a Patreon. If you have not, if you intend to make money off of this, it takes a bit to set it up. That's why I'm saying it now, 3 weeks out. If you intend to do that, where there's also a really good guide in Immersive Ink. You can look at. Basically, I work with one of my friends, and I'm like, here are some best practices, and they're like, I'm gonna make a guide. I'm like, make a guide. Now I point to the guide. I'm like, I helped to make that. Help my friend and me make that. Yay! Basically, you need to have bank account links to Patreon. Invariably, people are going to ask if I should just have a PayPal link to a Royal Road because it's an option. I don't know. That's a good idea. You could do a Ko-Fi. right? If you intend to make money off your work, set it up now to save yourself a hassle later. And specifically, I say like if you finish a book, just like make it a purchasable item, or just do advanced chapters by month. If you don't have a novelizing account or Royal Road account, this is the time to get that. Um, if you're not launching on the site, don't worry about it. And now I want you to think about bigger picture. Um, does your work also could your work also find a home on Scribble Hub or the Space Battles forum or r/HFY, which is Humanity F yeah, human focused stories? If it could fit into one of those, think about posting on there. Like I posted Bodega Cat chapters on RAHFY and I got like 6,000 views a chapter. I'm just like, what, how? But people look and they're just like, oh, I see it. There's a little bit of work to it, and you can't schedule posts the way you do. So like that's my problem. Is like I schedule my stuff, I batch schedule, and I batch post. RHFY is great. I just can't sit down every day to individually post. Um, that's some of the next steps. So consider those things. Consider like, am I going to have a social media presence? Am I going to have a Facebook account where I can sell my stuff? Am I on Blue Sky? There's somebody is going to make a Blue Sky list of all Launchapalooza people. I'm sure because I'm going to ask you guys nicely to do that. I ain't doing that. I might be tech savvy, but I'm not like not. My Blue Sky is linked to my one account. I'm just like it's only on my old phone, which I keep here. Otherwise, I would be on it too much. But yeah, um, I wouldn't say go to Twitter. That's not a thing. You should do it anymore, especially not progression fantasy. But you probably need a Reddit account for self promo. And if you haven't done it, you have to get karma, which means you should probably go comment on some posts and you know get into arguments with people. It's probably best if you like meme somebody's stuff and just be like, yeah, that Palooza cat that's from that Launchapalooza event, he's everywhere. Just like make jokes. I like to make jokes. I make a ton of jokes, um, especially about scammers trying to steal people's art or sell people art. But anyway, yes. And so like another thing for you to chew on. So like all this stuff you can opt out, right? You don't have to do any of that. You don't have to do Patreon. You don't have to do novelizing. You don't have to do Royal Road. You don't have to do HFY, Space Battle, Scribble Hub. You don't have to do any of that. This is like a build your own thing. These are just suggestions. I personally think that if you're gonna do Patreon, set it up now. So and then I would start posting the chapters now on Patreon and just like get them ready, right? Because you can also schedule Patreon, like you can schedule on Royal Road. And then finally, I'm gonna leave you with this: is your intent that you want to publish this self-publish, or do you want to shop it around to some of the indie publishers that are in our space? If you are thinking that you want to self-publish or if you want to shop it around, set a date in which you're going to submit, and you like a mental date. Like it doesn't have you don't have to. If you bust the date, you'll be fine. But like set a mental date of like, okay, this is the date at which I should feel ready to submit, and then just submit the thing. Because most of you guys, it's good enough to get like a really good look. But like some of you guys have this crippling anxiety about like approval. Trust me when I say like basically everything I've read passes the sniff test. Um, some of you guys I want to give some more love to because you're brand new, but like basically like the writing here is way better than I could have expected. So far as everything I read, so like you could do it either way. Um, but if you have a Patreon and you build it up and you do it correctly and you read the guide, you could self-fund the self-publishing if that's what you want to do. You don't have to. Again, all this is optional, right? You don't have to do Launchapalooza. You don't have to write. Um, you just have to. All you have to do is like do a launch. That's it. And then I'll leave you with this: have you included the Palooza cat in your fiction? If so, like leave a comment here or on Immersive Inc. as to where you're putting Palooza, because I'm going to put it in my stuff. He's going to be hilarious. Thanks, besties.